Tyron, you said up there something very interesting. You said that this is not just like a one-off deal for you in boxing. Like this is what you want to do now. You want to do boxing. When did that come together? When did you decide that's what you wanted to do?
Ask Pedro, ask Floyd, ask Eric Brown if this is a real opportunity and a real pathway for me. For me, it means simply I plan on boxing, multiple fights. I plan on continuing mixed martial arts, and I think this opportunity. Boxing is really built off of what you make in money, and flash and drip. Like you see me, I'm playing Janed out. I've already had money. I've already had bust down Cuban links and crazy cars and shit like that. I lived that life. But at the end of the day, this is about fighting. So we can entertain, we can talk the talk, but when it comes down to walking the walk, I'm gonna be the one walking away with the victory in my hands up. So this is an opportunity for me to sprint into the boxing lane, but also I'm preparing accordingly. I'm preparing. If I was fighting Canelo, I'm training like that right now. And the people that are training me, I'm training with world champions. They're defending their belts. And we running together. We hit and miss together. We sparring. All these things are cohesive. So for me, I'm just really blessed, man. I'm so happy right now. Like people say, oh, I'm happy. I'm happy for real. You know what I'm talking about. They faking. They wearing Spider-Man underwear on stage and passing out cupcakes to their opponent, but they terrified. And they hate. For me, I weigh 190? Are you kidding me? I've been killing myself to make 170 for all these years. So now I'm going to go out there refreshed, renewed, and ready to turn up.
How did the Floyd stuff come together, training with him?
Floyd, I've been buddies with Floyd for a while. Like, you guys can go back and look. I was actually supposed to train Floyd for MMA, but obviously everybody's seen what happened, with Logan and his fight and him and Jake's interaction that they had when they were out in Miami. And to be honest, I think he would have helped me anyway, but I think he took a little bit more invested interest to help me, not just for the Instagram, not just for, a couple 1-2 here and there. He said, no, we committed, my team behind you. And I told my dog, you can't leave Miami. I need you to stay put while Tyron's down there. Every day he needs you, anything he needs, make sure you got it done. And I'll bounce back and forth and check in. So shout out to Floyd, shout out to GT, but really shout out to Pedro Diaz, Eric Brown, and all the people that really believed in me long ago. Dean Thomas. Like, I've always really been a boxer in a wrestler's body. That's really been my thing the whole time. I've always wanted to box. So this is just my chance to go out there, have fun, be free, and just let these hands go.
So why choose this guy, and why not continue to box in the boxing world?
I never said that. I am going to continue to box in the boxing world. It's never been a one-off thing. I was going to box before I even had this opportunity. Me and my manager, we had already been talking about being a pure free agent, really going to fighting wherever I wanted to, when I wanted to. Not because I own the belt and they need to fill a pay-per-view on a date. Now I got to fight injured, ready, not ready, depressed, no matter what. You got to defend a strap. There's only so many champions and so many pay-per-view dates, and all of them either have a strap or a 5-round fight, right or wrong. So there's been times I've fought injured. I can't remember the last time I was really healthy going into the fight, mentally, physically, and just in a mental state to really go out there and fight with all the bullshit, all the politics. This is a whole new breath of air for me. Like, I'm excited. Like, it's so positive. And yeah, of course, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from the fans. I went from image and something that was painted and portrayed about me that, a couple of times people point out, no, that's not a real, assessment of who Tyron Woodley is. And now it's a completely flip of the coin. So I'm not getting too caught up in that either, because in 5 minutes people can say you the worst person on earth, but at the end of the day, I'm happy and I'm free. And I feel like if you saw me do work when I was just trying to prove people wrong, imagine what it's going to look like when I'm enjoying myself, when I don't have to cut that 25, 35 pounds to make weight, and I can just go out there and be strong and free.
Tyron, we've heard you refer to Jake as a culture vulture, and that came up again when you guys were talking up there. You were talking about culture, how you're about the culture, you're questioning his neighborhood.
I am the culture.
What is it about? Can you elaborate on what that means, and what is it? How does that apply to Jake?
A culture vulture is someone that basically takes from the culture and the style and the swag and the look and the language and the appeal and the dress and the attire and the drive and the whip and the drip without giving credit to it. I am culture. People rap about what I live. I'm from the murder capital of the world. People rap about the stuff I've seen, things I've experienced. I've been broke. I've been evicted from my house. I've been rich. I bought houses in cash. I've done all of it. But at the end of the day, I can do music because it's an expression. I can be 55 years old. How you gonna tell me I haven't been in VIP in the club? How you gonna tell me I haven't bought exotic cars? or been evicted or been gangbanged or seen people die. Like, I've seen all of it. So for me, I feel like you look at the way he dressed. Like, my brand now is plain Jane. You're not finna see me with a whole bunch of boogers on a necklace and bust down. Like, why? My kid, you see all these rappers with the money up to their face? You're gonna see stocks. Axia, by the way, go and check that out. You're gonna see stocks, Bitcoin, crypto, real estate. My kids are my biggest flex. I love it. My son's a 4.0 student getting recruited by Yale, Division I prospect. My daughter's a phenomenal artist. She's T-Pain Jr. She would blow your mind at 6 years old on autotunes. My son's a select soccer player. All my kids are amazing in school, straight A students. They respectful. They're not in the situation I grew up in, but I grew up in a situation of love, support. But they grew up in a situation where they didn't have to want for anything. And they still got the humility, and they still appreciative. So they my biggest flex, you know.
And you just feel like Jake has had a lot of things handed to him then? Or
No, I don't. To be honest, can I be real with you? It sounds good. I can tell you this is what you want to hear. Maybe not you, but in general. Oh, he's been spoon-fed, and Jake ain't never did nothing. Jake's an athlete. They wrestled in Ohio. His brother placed in state. That's not easy. Ohio is the 4th or 5th best. I recruited. I was a wrestling coach. We go in PA first, then we go in New York, then we go in California, and Ohio's right in there with New Jersey. So to place in that and go wrestle Division I, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Don't let the Disney and the vlogger and I'm just bucket listing. Yeah, he's an athlete. And he's really trying to go out there and fight without the pressure by minimizing what he's doing and how he's preparing until we get into the press conference. On the internet, he's like, oh, I'm going to knock out the 5-time champion. Now he's giving me the credit. Side by side, I'm washed up and I'm old, but I'm still faster. I'm still stronger, and I've been hit with everything you can get hit with. And I've also put a lot of people down, world-class Hall of Famers. Not just, I'm not going to discredit anybody, but let's be real. Ben is my dog, one of my good friends. I was there in that place. How many of you guys seen Ben knock somebody down in MMA? How many times have you seen Ben Askren tell you guys that his plan is to knock you out? No, his plan was to wear you out, drain you, make you miss every punch you threw, grab you, put you on the ground, submit you, or punch you out to where you couldn't even breathe. Now, I've wrestled Ben. He's the only one that can get me tired to the point where I'm like, start questioning your conditioning. That was his recipe. He was always that way. In college, he wasn't the fastest wrestler. I was his teammate for 2 years. I was his coach for 2 years. His game plan was Tyron. Everybody gonna get to my legs. I was not born fast. But when they get there, you're gonna find out what it is. And he created a style of scrambling. So
what is the most that you want to achieve in this, beyond all this?
Yeah, I'm in boxing now. This ain't a OG, I want to tell you something, because you keep asking me the same question. I'm here. And you gonna have this microphone by my face a lot because I ain't going nowhere. And I'm gonna be fighting your real boxers, and they're gonna have a problem to deal with, and it's gonna be me.
So at the end of the day,
I'm in boxing right now.
Okay.
He's my first opponent. This is my first. This is your, and everybody has first chance to watch me box.
How's it been working with Eric Brown?
Eric Brown's, I've been working with him since 2008. He was the first one to give me a chance. I had guys in St. Louis, Missouri that was training, world champion boxers there. St. Louis is a big boxing city, but they wouldn't give me the time of day because MMA fighters weren't getting work from boxing coaches. They really didn't take us serious. They saw us as, look like a bar fighter, everybody swinging all crazy, but he took the time. He was training Kid Chocolate in the beginning. He was training Paulie Maggiano, all these guys, but he really gave me the time, and attention since 2008. We trained yesterday. So he'll be there. He'll be in a place to be. Now I come into his world. He said, hey, I've been telling you this for years. Now I gotta hold you to it. Your stance, switch it, hands here, move there. No, that punch. Like what I like is coaches know me. They know what I'm capable of. Even on a bag, they wouldn't even let me throw a light punch on a bag. He said that wouldn't have did nothing to anybody. I would laugh at that punch. Put something on it. Put your hips on it. Turn over and squat your legs down. This ain't a joke. This was for real.
And I saw you in there with the legend, James Toney, yesterday as well. Any pointers did he give you yesterday?
For sure. James Toney, I've been in there with him a lot, but this is the first time, and it's just a respect level of the boxing community. He said, Coach. He called him Uncle. He called Eric Brown Uncle. He said, Uncle, you mind if I tell Champ something? He said, yeah. And then Eric said, Tyron. Champ, we call it so many people, Zab Zuder in there, James Toney, Eric Brown. He said, Champ, you mind if he tell you something? For 100%. The original shell roller, for sure. And he showed me, I'm not gonna tell you what he told me, but it was something so small, but it's so impactful. If I can turn back the hands of time and add that to my MMA deal, I'd have been knocking people out with jabs. And this boxing is not about, that's why they call it the sweet science. They didn't say it's the most complex science. Sometimes it's very simple. In MMA, we waste a lot of energy. And we do a lot of motion for what? What are we doing with it? How did that set my opponent up? How did it put me in position? Can I punch? Anytime coach says stop, wherever I'm at, I'm supposed to be able to throw my best shot as hard as I can.
What's the difference between a UFC training camp and a boxing training camp?
UFC training camp, the boxing component of the training camp was geared towards MMA. Coaches knew the different disciplines. They knew the wrestling that could come forward. They knew the checking the leg kicks. They knew the the position that you wanted to get in, and it allows you to be square. It allows you to have your feet pointed this way because you had to defend leg kicks. But boxing, I feel like, is almost like you would never take a butter knife and try to slice through the bread, slice through the butter with the wide way, right? You would take this way, and it's the same thing with boxing. Everything's come off being sharp and angular. So for me, years and years of wrestling, years and years of MMA, that's been the biggest adjustment. And when I'm in that position, when I'm in that stance, I feel good, I feel sharp, everything's cracking, my defense is tight, and we just fishing the small things. It's about the inches, man. We're not trying to run no mediocre marathon. Just throw a zillion punches, and the coach is bringing the mitt all the way to you, and you barely do anything. No, straight sharp. I got to put a hand on it from a distance.
What's the difference between your confidence coming into the fight and kind of a cockiness attitude that Jake might have going into it?
I think he's confident. And maybe I don't understand it, maybe you guys don't understand it, but I feel like he's confident. If it was cocky, he wouldn't be putting in the work. And I do believe he's putting in the work.
Are the boxers that you talk to, are they saying, hey, get this guy out of the sport? Are you hearing that?
I'm hearing that from everybody, but all I got to do is hear the voice inside of me that say, go up there and turn up. And if you want to see him get beat up, or you want to see him lose, or the MMA community behind my back, they're going to be benefited from that. But I'm not taking that pressure on. I'm not like, okay, I'm trying to go out here and do this for the MMA. I'm doing this for this. No, I'm doing this for me.
It's huge cachet if you win this fight and then enter boxing. Having done that.
I'm in boxing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm in there. It's not if. There's no ifs.
I'm saying after this, yeah.
I'm at the no level right now. It's no ifs. Yes, I will win. I will knock him out. I am in boxing. You know what I mean?
Who would be like a dream boxing opponent for you?
Don't look bad. Charlo, what's that? Charlo? Canelo? I think for me, I want to pay respect to the sport. I would like to fight an OG, a veteran, somebody that's been in the sport for a long time. De La Hoya's name got thrown around a little bit. I think it's to enter into somebody's sport. I think you got to do it in a respectful way. I think me fighting a seasoned veteran first, and then maybe fighting a current stud. I think that's the way you get the respect. I'll fight him probably a couple times. You know what I mean? Because he's going to be walking around with I Love Tyron Woodley tattoo on his body, so you might as well try to get it back, try to get a chance to redeem yourself. So we probably going to fight a couple times. And he added a no competition. Who does that when they're confident? You think I asked for that? Now, if you let me rob the bank twice without going to jail, of course. I'm kicking the door in. Give me the brain shark, give me everything. So I really believe that fighting him a few times, fighting an OG in the boxing game, and then fighting the current guy, there's no way you can't respect me now. There's no way you can ever question. That's 4 fights. Put those 4 fights together. You know what I mean? Put those 4 fights together. Now we talking.
Sorry, there's obvious heat between you and Jake. But back in Miami, we saw Mama Woodley and Jake's mom. You guys, they embraced. What do you think of that?
I mean, what they got smoked for? You know what I mean? They're gonna fight each other. They're gonna face off and square up. No, they love their kids, and they want to see their kids do well. You think Jake's mom want to see me hurt? Probably not. She don't. Why does she got anything against me? What did I do in the sport negative? I was a banner of living the upright life and never taking performance enhancement drugs and putting on the test and winning when people thought I was going to lose and continuing when many people thought I should quit. That was me. That's my brand. If somebody say, what can you be remembered for? I never quit. My kids ain't never see me quit. I told my son, I said, I made it sure that everybody, not just you guys, but people from Ferguson, people from St. Louis, and people from similar backgrounds, complexions or whatever, they know it's possible now. Touch the moon ever, I know I can. If you put a big toe on a move, you can't tell me I can't go there. So at the end of the day, of course, they want to see their kid live their dreams, and my mom want to say the same thing. So they kind of really the same. So they ain't got nothing to do with me and Jake, though.
What do you think of the fight, though? What does she think of you fighting Jake? After seeing you become UFC champion and all that, what does she think of you now?
I mean, she loved the idea of me constantly becoming a trailblazer. I'm the original. Make sure I go check out Champ Camp. It's a whole movie right now. Champ Camp episode 2 and episode 1. Catch up if you ain't there. But you look at the storyline behind it. Look at the family that's involved. My ex-wife flew my kids in the training camp because I say I can't leave. I'm locked in. I canceled all my gigs. I canceled my UFC gig on the desk. I canceled these photo shoots. I canceled going to my buddy's thing in Vegas I promised him I would go to. Now this war. This ain't no play. So I asked her to fly my kids in because I need them. They're a big part of why I fight for. They're a big why in everything I do, and I needed to see them. And they was there and they saw what their dad was doing. You don't think that's going to inspire a kid? My kids are athletes. They're conquerors. You know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, when you really think about what we doing this for, it's clear what I'm doing it for. So my mom, yeah, she supported. She supported everything I've done.
Tyron, did you get a chance to watch Anderson Silva fight Julio Cesar Chavez?
Yeah, I saw the highlights of it.
Yeah, what'd you think of that? I mean, he did a pretty darn good job.
Well,
you know?
Anderson, once again, he's always been able to box. Remember a long time ago we was talking about him boxing Roy Jones Jr.
Right.
I really just like to see the OGs get the respect they deserve. I like to see him at the top. You know, he's outside of John Jones. You know, I think him and Demetrius Johnson, in my opinion, are right there. You know what I mean? Maybe Cejudo after that, because Cejudo did it so quick. You know, he was cringy. Guess what? He did it fast. You know what I mean? So when you look at the GOATs of the sport, and it's hard to be a GOAT in the sport, you got to deal with the father time. You got to deal with the different backgrounds. You got to deal with the different elements. You know what I mean? Everybody's not 100%. We got life too. We normal like everybody else. You know, we go through depressions. We go through bad situations. We go through injuries and bad health, and we still got to turn up. No, y'all don't care if we injured. Y'all don't care if our ankle sore or if we had a divorce or free. Y'all don't care. Y'all want to see what? Blood. And we got to give it no matter what.
Do you think there's going to be more guys like you who would maybe say like?
There's not many guys like me.
But from the standpoint of like looking at the money that's available in boxing and when their contract,
I think there's a lot of opportunists that are looking at the opportunity to think. They think I'm running this snag in the bag real quick. I really earned this. Karma is for real. I put myself in a position. I may not have got the similar situation in the organization where I did the most, where you guys know me from, but I've been putting seeds in the ground since I started this. And my intent has always been pure, to show people it's possible to glorify God and to go out there and just use my talents and ability and have people like, what is happening? And that's what they're going to say August 29th.
Who do you got on the Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. fight?
I don't know, man. I'm really off the grid, man. I'm sent out the way. And I ain't got nothing to say about Connor's fight. I ain't got nothing to say about Errol Spencer. All I got something to say about is my fight. You know what I mean? So when people talk to me, I want to talk about August 29th. I don't really want to talk about nothing else.
What did Floyd Mayweather tell you about your fundamentals as a boxer now?
I mean, he told me certain aspects he was very impressed with. He's very surprised. And his coach echoed it and said, man, I can't tell you because I'm going to be utilizing the mess out of it. But he was like, man, his game in this area is crazy, man. I understand why. You know, I put a lot of mental pressure on people. Like, when you open up, my eyes are open up super wide, but you can tell when I'm looking at you, when I'm coming for you, and I'm hunting you down. And that's going to transition well in boxing from MMA. And fundamentally, it's still a lot of stuff I got to work on. A lot of stuff I got to work on. A lot of stuff that MMA coaches allow you to get away with for a long time. And when you spar other MMA guys, like the techniques of the striking, or yeah, they want you to be crispy, but they're not gonna turn everything over, hand up. Like, yeah, we do crazy. You're doing a spinning back fist. You turn your back to somebody and spin in a circle and hope to land it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Who's gonna sit there and try to like be overly crisp on your 1-2?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.